cover creating your own digital Digitrax cable or DCC system cable. And it's fairly straightforward. I have a factory version we'll talk about, and then the Ethernet cable that I'll convert into a Digitrax cable. The things that you'll need obviously will be some Ethernet cable. You'll need a couple of connectors. In today's video I've already done one on one end, so we're only going to use one on the other here. You do need to have a wire stripper. You also want to have just a snips, whether you use a rail snip or a wire snip, it doesn't really matter. And the last thing that I use to ease things is the crimper. There's a 4-pin crimper. You see a 4P. Then it also says, if you read here, it says 6P and 8P. We're going to be concerned with the 6P, obviously, for a 6-pin. This just makes things a lot easier. Home Depot was I think it was 24 bucks. And then the last thing to take into consideration is buying them in bulk. This is a package that I purchased. I don't know if that number, if you're able to Google it and locate those wherever the manufacturer was that sold them, but they weren't all too expensive. All right, we'll look at the one thing, just to take a real quick look at the cables themselves. You want to make sure that clasps, both of them in this case, are facing up, and the color sequence is in order. What I've got here is the factory DCC. If you look at these, it'll go blue, yellow, green, red, black, and white. That's the color order of the wires. I've listed it here: blue, yellow, green, red, black, and white. And the colors that I'm going to use will be blue, blue-white, green, orange, brown, and brown-white out of this cable, which is a Cat 5 cable. So on the other end here, what we're going to do is we're simply going to strip the casing off from the outside. So you've stripped your casing. You leave a little bit of excess, and by a little bit I mean I've stripped about a 1/2 inch off, and when we stick it in there it'll only have about a 1/4 inch exposed. But sort your wires out and the colors that you want to get rid of. In this case, remember, we're going to keep blue, we're going to keep blue and white, we're going to keep green. So just I'm picking them out of the pack here. So we're going to keep green, we're going to keep orange, we're going to keep brown, and we're going to keep brown white. So the two that we want to get rid of are these two guys here. So simply just take the snips here and I knock those and the fabric out as well. So go in, make your cut. Then you want to really flatten your data cable. So wiggle it a little bit. You want this stuff laying all nice and flat. So again, it goes blue, blue, white, green, orange, brown, and then brown, white. Now what I'm going to do is I want to cut a nice flush across the top here. So you want to go in here, leave about a 1/4 inch. So I'm cutting that right about in half. So a snip, clear that. The pieces that I want here, I want them again to match up just like we talked about with the either the clasp up. I'd have to flip all the wires over, but this case, the clasp down, the order of the wires here are going to be the same as the order of the wires here. That's it's very important. So you want to make sure that you wiggle and get those things nice and flat. So now that they are, I'm going to slide this into the terminal here, the clip. And you slide those in, you push it in, not overly aggressive, but hard enough that you can see the wires went all the way through. They've all come forward in the front of the casing, and if they don't, you're going to want to knock off just a little bit of the exterior of your case, which I am going to do because I want to make sure that they push in nice and tight. So again, blue, blue, white. I'm just reorganizing these here. Line this up. Going to slide this into the connector. Now we've slid all the way forward, and now all of the copper is showing up across the front edge. So when this thing crimps, it'll crimp successfully. So we look at the number 6, we bring that in, we push this forward, give it a nice good squeeze. You can't over squeeze these. They're going to fit nice and tight. There it is. We got ourselves a Digitrax or DCC compatible cable. So I hope this helps some people out, and helped me out a lot to have some instructional information on creating some of this stuff. So good luck to anyone that is creating them, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop me a line. Thank you.